Norman Jeffrey Healy, guitarist, singer, songwriter, trumpeter, trombonist, clarinetist, born the 25th of March, 1966 in Toronto. Jeff Healey's phenomenal technique and soulful voice made him one of the world's premier blues rock musicians, perhaps best known for the hit single Angel Eyes, and for his unconventional style of playing the guitar flat on his lap. He was blind by the age of 1 and began playing guitar at age 3. He rose to international fame in his early 20s, selling over 4 million albums worldwide in the late 1980s and early 1990s. Also a highly regarded jazz aficionado and trumpet player, he hosted the CBC Radio program My Kinda Jazz and released 3 albums of traditional American jazz tunes before dying from cancer at age 41. Nominated for 11 Juno Awards and 2 Grammys, he received the 1990 Juno for Entertainer of the Year, as well as an Honorary Licentiate from the Royal Conservatory of Music and a Maple Blues Award for Lifetime Achievement. He was inducted into Canada's Walk of Fame on the 18th of October 2014. Early years. Adopted when he was 4 months old, Healy grew up in the Toronto suburb of Etobicoke and was blind by the age of 1 due to retinoblastoma, a rare form of eye cancer. His eyes were removed and replaced with ocular prostheses when he was 8 months old. He began playing guitar at age 3 and was initially self-taught. He quickly developed an unusual playing style, similar to that employed by Fred McKenna, placing the instrument flat across his lap and fretting the strings overhand, like a lap steel guitar. He attended a boarding school for the blind from grades 1 to 7, and in his youth played country music, jazz, rock and reggae. He began performing in rock bands when he was 13, playing in such short-lived Toronto groups as Blue Direction. In 1983 and 1984, while attending Etobicoke Collegiate and playing in the senior stage band, he was named to the Canadian Stage Band All-Stars. The Jeff Healey Band. The Jeff Healey Band signed with Arista Records in 1988 and made a dramatic international breakthrough with the debut album See the Light, which was launched by a sold-out show at the Marquee Club in London, England, and appearances on such American TV programs as Late Night with David Letterman and The Tonight Show. The song Angel Eyes, written by roots rocker John Hiatt, became a major hit, peaking at number 5 on the Billboard Hot 100 chart and number 16 on the Canadian Singles Chart. Confidence Man was also popular, hitting number 11 on the Billboard Mainstream Rock Chart. Healey's extraordinary virtuosity was perhaps best exemplified by Hideaway, which was nominated for a 1989 Grammy Award for Best Rock Instrumental Performance. The band's rapidly rising profile resulted in an appearance as the house band in the Patrick Swayze movie Roadhouse. They also contributed 4 songs to the movie's soundtrack. The trio continued to tour internationally, adding Japan and Australia to its itinerary in 1989. Also that year, See the Light received the Netherlands Edison Award for Best Foreign Rock Recording, and Healy was nominated for a Juno Award as Most Promising Male Vocalist. See the Light was certified triple platinum in Canada for sales over 100,000 copies and in the US for sales over 1 million copies. In 1990, it received a Juno nomination for Album of the Year, while the band won a Juno for Canadian Entertainer of the Year and a World Music Award for Best-Selling Canadian Artist. See the Light has since sold more than 2 million copies worldwide. The band's follow-up album Hell to Pay was equally successful, selling more than 200,000 copies in Canada and over 2 million internationally. Featuring George Harrison, Jeff Lynne, Mark Knopfler, Paul Schaefer and Bobby Whitlock, the album included the top 10 Canadian singles, I Think I Love You Too Much and How Long Can a Man Be Strong, as well as a cover of Harrison's While My Guitar Gently Weeps that hit the top 40 in Canada and charted in the UK. Around this time, Healy also founded his own recording company and studio, Forte Records and Productions. One of the first artists he signed was Amanda Marshall, who came to be managed by Tom Stephen. In 1992, the band released Feel This, which featured Molly Johnson and Paul Schaefer. The singles Cruel Little Number and Lost in Your Eyes, a cover of an early Tom Petty song, cracked the top 20 in Canada and drove domestic sales over the platinum mark. In 1995, the band released Cover to Cover, which returned to their roots with a focus on favorite blues and rock standards. The band left Arista later that year and received a Grammy nomination in 1996 for Best Instrumental Rock Performance for the Yardbirds cover, Shapes of Things. Jazz career. In 2001, Healy opened a nightclub in Toronto called Healy's, which later moved to a larger location in the downtown entertainment district and was renamed Jeff Healey's Roadhouse. He performed regularly at both venues, with the exception of a performance with Sass Jordan at the Molson Canadian Rocks for Toronto's Sardic benefit concert in July 2003. He moved in the early 2000s away from blues rock and towards jazz. He established Jeff Healey and the Jazz Wizards and released 3 albums of traditional jazz tunes among friends, Adventures in Jazzland and It's Tight Like That, all of which featured Healey on trumpet, trombone, and guitar. Death and posthumous albums. Healey was planning a European tour with the Jazz Wizards in April 2008. However, he had been battling cancer for 3 years and succumbed to the disease on the 2nd of March after it spread from his legs to his lungs. His legacy was celebrated at 2 charity tribute concerts in Toronto featuring artists he had played with and influenced, including Randy Bachman, David Wilcox, Alana Miles, Cream's Jack Bruce, and Deep Purple's Ian Gillan. Healey's first blues rock album in 8 years, Mess of Blues, was released shortly after his death and received a Juno nomination for Blues Album of the Year. A companion record titled Songs from the Road, comprised of live recordings from Norway, England, and Toronto, was issued in the summer of 2009. Healey's final jazz album Last Call was recorded mostly on his own in the months before his death and released in April 2010. It received a 2011 Juno nomination for Vocal Jazz Album of the Year. A DVD titled Beautiful Noise featuring a full concert performance by Healey and the Jazz Wizards came out at the same time.